Okay, so who want to start to be the client? Raise his hand or her hand. Gabriela is saying no, so it can be a good candidate.
Gabriel already did it a lot.
What?
Gabriel already has done it almost in every session, so I think it's fair for him not to do it for a while.
And
I
you
think
didn't.
it should be either Felix or the Fish, because I think we didn't volunteer yet.
Okay, but let me ask you, Gabriela, since you are saying no with an energetic, emphatic way, I suppose you didn't like to be the client.
Uh, yes, I
Okay,
have some trouble. Yes, it was
okay,
hard.
that sound was enough. Okay, was enough. Okay, and can you say the main thing you didn't like in doing the client?
Um, it was hard to control my emotion, to detach, to take it easy, as Isabella put it.
Okay. By the way, that's the main job we are supposed to do in this training, both as a client, but especially as a philosopher. Yeah. It's a bit the idea Gabriella then Plato proposed in one of his works, which is that in order to philosophize, it's necessary to learn how to die, which doesn't mean that you need to kill yourself like with a gun, but in a way, that ancient Greeks thought that death was a separation between body and soul. Yeah. And in a way, the body represents the emotions and soul represent the thoughts, the ideas. So in a way, when you think, when you philosophize, you need to be able to separate them. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not thinking, you're more reacting. Yeah. So in a way, thinking as something in common with death is a kind of separation between body and soul, between ideas and emotion. But I understand you is kind of hard and difficult, but that's exactly the idea to be a philosopher, yeah, and to invite other people when you dialogue with them to do the same, yeah. But for you, it's hard to separate emotion from ideas, right?
Yes, it's very hard. Yes.
And that's why you said before that you are here in order to structure your thinking, right? I guess.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if that's your aim, you should propose yourself every time.
Yes, I can do it again. I can try to do it
Okay,
again.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
you can do the philosopher. You're gonna work all of you today, so don't worry. You can be the philosopher now, the client after. I was just since you were reacting that way, I wanted to understand better. Yeah, and by the way, this is the part of the philosophical consultation. I think, as you saw already, that we work on words of the client, of course, but we work also on attitude. Yeah, is part of the job. So it was a little demonstration of how we can get information from the way person reacted to our questions. Yeah. So since I noticed that you were saying no, 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 please, no, I asked you some questions. So other people that want to be the client have this bad experience. Okay, Dice.
No, I don't have the bad experience. I thought you were asking who wanted to be the client, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go.
No, yeah, I was ironical. I was saying that who
All right.
want to try this bad experience
Ah, I
from
see.
Gabriella's point of view, at least.
Yeah, sure, sure. Hit me.
Okay, good, good. So we found a masochist guy, so it's fine. So now we need a sadistic guy or girl, so a philosopher. Who want to be the philosopher? Okay, Christina, you are the one who is supposed to torture this poor guy. Okay. Okay, so Felix and Gabriella, in the first part, in this part of the session, you are supposed to write down your observations, and when we're gonna finish the coach consultation, we're gonna open the discussion to the group. So I will ask some question to Christina, to Thais, but also to you, Felix and Gabriella. So yeah, be present, be careful, and don't be disconnected. Yes, okay. All right. So, Christina, you are meant to be the philosopher. I
Felix
explained
has
to
a
you.
question, I think, first.
Yes, but let me explain a bit the procedure we're gonna follow. It's basically, yes, Thais is gonna be the client, so he's gonna propose to you a question, yeah, to start the dialogue. And then basically we're gonna analyze the question together, okay? And then I will propose to you to find at least two or three different questions you could ask the Thais back, yeah? And then you're gonna choose one and you're gonna ask that question to Thais. And then we're gonna hear the answer and we're gonna do the same stuff with the answer. So we're gonna analyze the answer together. We're gonna think two different questions we could ask him back, and we're gonna do like that at least for I think 40 minutes. Is that okay with you? Is clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. If there is no question, everything is clear. I think we can start. And so, Christina, you can invite Thais to ask a question and to write it down on the Google Doc.
Yeah. Thank you, Thais, for joining us. And do you have a question?
Yes, I was scrambling to formulate it, but I think it's something like, how can I stop myself from becoming argumentative when I'm emotional?
Okay, so let's start to work a bit about this, Christina. First, let me share with you an observation I just had by observing you. I noticed that you didn't ask Thais to write it down his question, but you did by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it's important to write it down. And I
Okay.
didn't want
Okay.
it to disrupt.
Let me just stop you because I was just speaking about the fact. I didn't ask you the reason why. But
Okay.
okay. But you know what does it mean when a person in when you ask a question to a person if it happens something and the question and then the person start to give you some arguments. Do you know what does it mean? No?
Interrupting.
Interrupting, you said?
Yeah.
Can you explain?
I mean, I interrupted you or what?
No, you didn't interrupt me.
But I am not sure what do you mean, or
You
which
remember?
direction you want to go?
I mean, it just I'm using this what I observe right now to give you some let's say example of the job we are supposed to do in a consultation. Is that right? Okay. So I ask you that I noticed something. You remember?
Yeah.
You remember what I noticed?
Yeah, but I wrote down the question as he was putting
Oh,
the question.
okay. And you remember what I asked you or no?
And you asked, well, you just made the observation, but I did that.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. And you remember what you answered?
I started to answer, but I started to want to explain why I did it.
Exactly. I didn't ask you why you did it. I just said to you that I observed that fact. You remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you explain why you started to explain straight away?
Oh, because I thought that it's good to justify my actions.
Okay, exactly. So that's usually what does it mean when a person start to provide an argument that is not asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be an expression when the person needs to justify. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And why you wanted to justify yourself?
In that case, only because you made the observation. If you would not have made the observation, I would not have justified myself.
Okay, but you agree that for other people, even if I make the observation, other people may have answered just yes or no.
Yeah,
Yeah. And why you added so in that case, why you added in this case an explanation?
I thought it's important for you to understand because we also meet first time, and I thought it's good
Okay.
to
So
make an explanation to
you
my
want to help me
actions.
to understand better.
Exactly.
Okay. So do you see a link between what you did with me and what you did with Thais by writing down his own question without
Yeah,
asking?
yeah,
What
I see it. Yeah.
can you say? What you saw?
What I saw is that I try to justify my action when I'm not asked because I wanted to be better understood.
Okay, that's it works in our case, but I don't see the connection with writing down his question. Can you help me to see the connection, or is not something common what you said?
I don't see the connection.
Okay, you don't see then.
Beyond that, not.
Okay, let me propose to you that you do more than you are supposed to do in both cases. You were not supposed to justify yourself with me, and you were not supposed to write it down the question that is asked. Do you agree that this is something common?
Yeah,
Okay. And do you tend to do more than you are supposed to do, even in your life, or is just today with us?
depends, but yes, sometimes yes.
Okay, sometimes means yes.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. You see how we can get information here? And let me propose to you that if you do too much, it maybe it's fine in your job, in your day life, but in consultation, there could be a problem. Do you see the problem that you could
yeah,
create? Can you
yeah, I see.
can you say?
Yeah, the problem is that when I can overdo it,
And
plus it could also block the other person from overdoing it because when they feel, but plus it could be interpreted as if I have control over a situation when that's not the case. And so then this
okay,
way, so there are lots of things that, yeah,
okay,
that,
okay.
that could lead to.
And let me propose to you, among maybe these a lot of things you are mentioning, that in a way the client is gonna pay to you to do the work. I mean, to do the thinking. If you think instead of the client, in a way, you are working more, but the client is working less. And the client is supposed to think by coming to you. So I suggest to you that try to do less in the consultation. Is already
Okay.
something I noticed so far. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, okay, oh, good. And plus, you know why? Because if you ask often to me, when I ask the client to write down his question, I notice that not always, but often the client rephrase a bit the question. And in that difference, you can get something important. So, in a way, by doing the job by yourself, you're losing the opportunity to get more information about your client. Yeah.
Good point. Got it.
Okay. Okay. Good. And now I didn't mean to make a consultation to you, but it was just a starting point of the exercise. Since we have time, I let ourselves to have a different, let's say, ideas about what is happening. So now we have this question. Um, I suggest to you, since you wrote it down, that you ask to Thais if is that is the question is asked, and is if he's okay with the question you wrote it down.
So, Taish, sorry first that I wrote for you the question. Second thing is, did you mean indeed to ask this question, or would you like to rephrase it?
Let me see. How can I stop myself becoming argumentative when I am emotional? I think that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
You think or you know?
I know.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So this why you know why I proposed to you to check with the client, Christina?
Yes,
Why?
because he could have changed his mind, because he could have revealed more information. Also, I could have misinterpreted the way how I wrote as opposed to what he meant, or maybe
Okay.
use different words, slightly different word, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, good. And plus, let me add to what you said that in our job, when a person asks a question, the question represents the person. Yeah. So it is important to check if the person identified himself with the question. So now we are going to analyze the question, which means that we are a bit analyzing Thais' way of thinking. Yeah. Because we're gonna find some presupposition about this question that I mean, most likely are going to be some presupposition that drive Thais in his way of thinking, his way of interacting with the world and with others. So it's important to make sure that that is his question. And this is another reason why it's better to let the client to write it down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, good. If something is not clear or if you disagree, you can interrupt me any time. Yeah. We are here to confront each other. Okay, so let's start. Now we can start. Christina, try to observe a bit the question and let me know if you see something interesting in this question.
Lots of interesting things.
Okay, let's start from the first one because I'm a man, I cannot do multiple stuff. So, first observation, let's hear.
The first observation is that he wants to stop himself.
Okay, good.
So
And
means that he is aware that he does certain things, which is a good sign. And second is also that most probably he struggles of finding a way on how to stop himself. Another,
okay, one second. Let's
yeah,
reason a bit about this. So you said that he wants, since he's asking how can I stop, it means that he wants to stop.
plus that he's aware of a problem, correct? That's very important too.
Okay, so
He's very aware. He understands that he's argumentative and he's emotional.
okay, but now you are focusing on the second part of the question. Now I'm focusing on the first part since you said that since he asked how can I stop, it means that he wants to stop. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Now, so now when someone wants something, yeah, what does it imply?
And they want something means what they wanted. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, let me propose to you that when you want something, it means that you don't have what you want already. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's lacking this capacity of stopping himself to blah blah blah. Yeah?
Yeah.
You're, if you disagree or if you have any problem, you tell me, yeah?
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, good. So from this observation, what do you think is the main problem that Thais has here?
Is the belief that he cannot stop himself, that he does not have control. In principle, that he does not have control over himself.
Okay, he has a hard time to control himself.
Yeah.
Do you think this is just possible or is probable since the question is asking?
It's probable.
Okay, so I propose to you, you write this observation below his name. I put his name here, Thais, and then you can say, yeah, exactly. And Thais, don't worry. Then at the end, you're gonna have the chance to make all the let's say you can object all the observation we're gonna do. Okay, so if you don't identify to yourself, Now, please try to keep in yourself, and then you can share all your ideas. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, sounds good.
Okay, good. So he does not master control over himself. Okay, okay. And what do you think is the main feeling that a person has, Christina, when he's not able to control himself? I mean,
Frustration,
frustration. So, okay. So,
disappointment, frustration, disappointment.
okay, okay. Can you add them
Yeah.
there? Let me propose you another consequence, psychological consequence, or even existential consequence, is the idea of impotence. So when you, before to write it down, let's check if it makes sense to you. Yeah. Can you see the link between impotence and the incapacity to stop oneself?
Yes, but I wouldn't go so far as to call it impotence. I think it's a much too strong word, and I wouldn't use it, especially with men, because it has also a different connotation, so I wouldn't use it.
Okay, but this is the funny part of the practice that here we can say something that maybe in normal day life it could sound bad, but we don't care about that. We are trying to conceptualize, and here our goal is to help Thais to, in a way, knowing better himself through this dialogue. Yeah. And I know that most of the people, most humans, they don't want to know themselves. Yeah, that's why it's so difficult, and that's why Socrates is being killed, because it was through the dialogue pushing the person to see himself. Yeah, because for Socrates, the condition to knowing the world was knowing oneself. Yeah, so in a way, I know that it can sound bad, but here we are just trying to conceptualize say the worldview of the person and the consequence we see from that question. So I agree with you that even I mean myself, I don't go when I go to school because I work as a teacher. I don't go to say are you impotent to my colleagues because I can be fired. but but here we are allowed because the main thing is thinking here. Yeah. So even if you don't like the word, tell me if it makes sense, Christina, to
It
you.
makes sense, but I still would not use it.
Can you
I
give
have a very
me?
strong view of not using it.
Okay, but now is the time to provide an argument. So can you tell me why you're not?
Because same thing can be achieved without using this word.
Because what?
Same things we can achieve without using such a strong word as impotence in that case.
Okay, but okay. So you're saying that we can reach the same goal without using this word. Yeah.
Exactly. And when it's unnecessary, because then I think you also can turn off the person too fast and because this is still at the beginning of the session. I would not use it because you risk also to make the person react too much to the word as opposed to the process. And I would not like that either.
Okay, okay. So you are worried that Thais can be a little offended or can feel that we are going too far?
Exactly. And it's too early to do that. You can do that if he does not react to other things. You can
Okay.
use a stronger word too. But he's very cooperative right now. He's very into it. So why would I unnecessarily use such a strong word?
Okay, but how can you say that for you Thais is going to react in that way? Why do you think that?
I do not know what his reaction will be because I don't know him enough. That's why I would not use it. I would be more cautious.
Okay, but there is a chance that since you have a bad, let's say, idea of this word, you are projecting your bad idea of this word to Thais.
I agree with that, but I still wouldn't use it
Okay,
in
but
that case.
okay. I mean, I don't want to oblige you to use it, but it's important that you are aware that you have this view of this word. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it could be not the case for Thais, you know?
yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, he may be absolutely fine with
Okay.
being
But
impotent, but I do not like it.
but by the way, can I propose to you an idea about yourself?
Yeah.
You know that in a way you have been revealing something about yourself in order when you express this not liking the word the impotence.
Yeah,
You know what did you reveal?
yeah, but I feel uncomfortable with certain words and with certain meanings, or also I feel uncomfortable to make somebody so uncomfortable. There are
Okay,
lots of
okay.
things that I'm revealing.
Okay, good, nice, Christine. And so you have a problem with impotence, yeah? With the idea.
Not generally, I'm okay, but not in this context.
Wait. Now you're noticing what you're doing now, Christina?
I am relativizing and I'm
Okay,
making it
exactly.
I'm contextualizing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, exactly. Nice. So at least you're aware, which
Yeah.
is very good, yeah? But let me ask you, you can say no if it's not the case. Do you, in general, you like the idea of impotence or no? More yes or more no?
More no, most probably. Yeah.
Okay, that was clear. Yeah, exactly. And do you know why you don't like the idea of impotence yourself?
Most probably because I also feel like that.
Oh, because you feel impotent.
Very often, yeah.
Okay, and what's the problem in feeling impotent?
It's not a nice feeling.
Okay, you know how it's called this kind of argument in philosophy?
No.
Tautology. You're just repeating that you don't like something. I'm asking why you don't like, and you say it's unpleasant, it's not good. So, but why is unpleasant, is good, you don't like? And by the way, you know why people make a tautology usually?
Because you want to avoid the answer?
Yeah, yes, is a way to not expose themselves. Because when you provide an argument, you are exposing yourself. In a way, you did the opposite that you did before. That before you provide an argument in order to justify yourself. And now you are not answering the question why because you don't want to expose yourself. Did you notice?
I didn't try to avoid to expose myself, but I did it, yeah, subconscious. I didn't do it consciously.
Okay, but you see, now I'm not talking about consciously or less or not consciously. I'm just asking you if you notice these two phenomena. Interesting. I'm not accusing you of nothing. I'm just helping you to see something happen so far. Is my job, let's say.
Yeah, no, fine.
Okay. So you don't want to expose yourself when we speak about impotence. You prefer to running away, yeah? More
If
yes?
you more no in that respect, it's not that I.
Okay. By the way, this is an interesting sign you made with the ends. You know what does that it mean? This sign?
Yeah, but I
What?
give up.
Okay, I'm impotent. I give up. I surrender.
Yeah,
Okay, surrounding is an important part of in the philosophical practice, yeah, in a way. When you surrender, you start thinking. It's a bit the idea of Socrates' maieutic. When the client admit that he's ignorant because he contradicts himself, okay, in that moment, he can start thinking, he can start producing new ideas. So congratulations, Christina. You reach an important, let's say, key moment of the practice, which is not easy, by the way. You see how people struggle in order to surrender?
yeah.
And so for you, it's not easy, surrender, let's say, let it go, right?
No, not easy, no.
That's that now I understand why you don't like impotence, Christina, because the impotence, in a way, when you don't like impotence, you try to control as much as you can. You write the question down instead of the client. You provide the argument when it's not needed. You try to control as much as you can. Yeah. So in a way, I hope you are start enjoying the impotence in a way, yeah. And that could be the case of Thais as well. We don't know yet, but I don't want to force you to use this word. I know it's a kind of taboo in your worldview, so you can live there, and you cannot repeat it if you don't want. Okay. Okay. So now you see we know already something about Thais, which is probable, but we need to check anyway. So other observation, other presupposition you see in the question.
Yes, he also contextualizes it, but he cannot stop himself argumentative when he's emotional. So it's a certain context that he already provides us. So generally, he can control himself when he wants to be or not argumentative, but he cannot control himself specifically when he is emotional.
Okay, yes, okay, good. Even if let's say it depends how often it gets emotional, because if it gets emotional most of the time, it means that he cannot stop himself most of the time. So we need to check how often it happens in his life, you see. But okay, yes, so he has a problem with emotion. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if you agree, you can write it down in the presupposition, let's say. Okay, good. And before to try to think some question to make to Thais, do you see an interesting connection, a funny connection between becoming argumentative and being emotional? Or is normal for you, this connection that is present in the question?
Of course, it's normal because when one is emotional, then yeah, some people tend to become more argumentative when they're emotional.
Okay, but you know also people that are emotional that don't talk at all, or they don't become particularly argumentative.
Very few.
If you, okay, I'm starting have a suspicion here that you are quite similar to Thais, but we're gonna check it during the discussion. Okay, okay. I think I mean we could go on and on to get a lot. And by the way, Thais is very funny this exercise, because just analyzing the presupposition present in a question in a way you could know the person in front of you. Yeah. And that's the reason why a lot of people working in companies ask us some training, because they have to select the people in the company, and then they want to make sure to select the right people to the right positions. So they want to use these let's say rational tools from the philosophical practice in order to know just by analyzing some answer that the client give in the interview in order to select the right person. But I suggest since it's not the focus of the exercise of today, we stop here analyzing the question, and we start thinking question you could ask Thais back, Christina. So what would you ask to Thais?
I would ask, do you lose control over yourself only when you are emotional?
Okay, can you explain me what is the purpose of this question?
is to understand if he's still argumentative only on his emotional, or generally he has this tendency to be argumentative.
Okay, so you don't trust him, yeah?
I trust him, but
Okay,
I want still to verify and recheck to be explicit.
okay, but you see a bit the problem in what you said, that if you trust, but you still want to check and verify, it means that your trust is not very strong, let's say.
No, I thought in that respect, I wasn't sure. I thought from the classes we had before, but you always need to check on all these presuppositions.
Okay, yes, I agree. That's why I ask you don't trust him. I mean, you don't need to trust the client. I'm not saying that you need to trust the client. So I was just checking with you since the question you proposed that you are not trusting what Thais is proposing here, right?
I do trust what he's proposing, but I
Okay,
thought that that's the way how we should conduct the session. So I might be confusing then, and maybe I should not then go and verify if I trust it already. I'm not sure about that. Because in his case, I really trust, but what he wrote is, I don't have any doubts.
okay. So you trust, but you still want to check.
I thought that we have to check because of the process,
Okay,
the way how before we were kind of
okay.
told.
Okay, you see, because the argumentation is funny. Imagine Juliet that goes to Romeo and ask him, "Did you cheat on me, Romeo, so far?" And he said, "No, no, of course I didn't." Yeah. And Juliet answer, "Okay, I trust you, but let me check under the bed anyway, because." So you see, okay, now you are saying that you trust, but since you were told that it's better to check, you want to check anyway. That's your
Yes,
argumentation, right?
yeah,
Okay. So you are a good student, right?
I'm trying.
Okay. Okay. I suggest to you, don't be too good student because it could be a problem in philosophical practice. So I suggest to you that, okay, learn the technique we are teaching to you. But when you are in the consultation, in a way, I suggest you to forget a bit the rules. Yeah. So learn the rules, and then you have to learn how to get over the rules in
How to
some.
break them, yeah. And then break the rules. I got you. Yeah.
Okay, but I don't want to be, let's say, tough. So I want to let you do make all the question you want. So if you think that is the case to check, you can write it down that question you just proposed to me. Yeah.
Or if not, we can move on and go more deeper. Because if we trust you
It's
have a good argument, then it might be better to not
Christina,
lose time.
it's up to you. It's up to you. It's your
Yeah, I
choice.
got you.
If you want, we can keep the question. Otherwise, we can switch.
I think I'll switch.
Okay, good. You have another one.
Let me think for a second on how to formulate it. Why do you want to stop yourself from becoming argumentative? I think it's better on your emotional. I think it's a much more better and more revealing.
Okay, nice.
Why is this important for him?
Yes, yes. So in a way, you are because you notice that the question is practical. Did you notice that or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Because how usually it implies a practical relation. Yeah, how you want to know how to do something. Yeah, so it's a methodological question. Yeah, but now you are switching and you are pushing him to do to go in an intellectual paradigm by.
Exactly.
Okay, nice one. I propose you to write it down. Okay, by the way, before to go on, I propose to you that since the observation I made before, I think we can propose another presupposition. I mean, another, let's say, observation about the person behind the question, that the person is a rather practical guy, person. If you agree, you can add it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can discuss it. Okay, very good. So now you have another one, Christina.
Another question?
Yes.
Um,
I mean, part of the exercise of today
yeah, I got you.
you're formulating different questions. Then, of course, you're gonna pick one, but it's part of the job to try to, because every time we can ask a different question, and there is not just the right question, there are different possible good questions.
Another one would be why, what's wrong being argumentative or emotional?
Okay, in a way, it seems very similar, very close to the first one. You see why?
Yeah.
Because by answering that question is giving you the reason why you want to stop. So in a way, you are repeating the question in a different with a different reformulation. Yeah. So you have a different question. Let me propose to you.
Yeah.
It's similar what you said before, but it's not the same. Are you uh, you, are you argumentative just when you get emotional, or even when you are not? Oh, before to write it down, tell me if it's fine with you.
Yeah. No, I agree with this question too. Yeah.
Can you say why you agree, or why you?
I agree because indeed when we recheck if he's in general argumentative or is he argumentative only when emotional.
Okay, and also in a way we can think to push thinking, Thais, that to becoming argumentative, maybe, I mean, there are different ways to be argumentative. It can be let's say a defensive mechanism when you get emotional, yeah, or it can be a way to be rational, for example, yeah. So with this question, we're gonna check if he thinks that be argumentative can be good in a other situation, other context. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you write it down. Okay. So I suggest, since time is running fast, we don't think to another question, and you pick one between these two.
The first one. Why
Okay.
do you want to stop yourself being argumentative and emotional?
Okay, good. You can ask him.
Finally, Tish. Why do you want to stop yourself being argumentative and emotional?
What a good question. There are two reasons. Can I give them both?
Yes.
Okay. So the first reason is that when I'm emotional, I argue with more ferocity, and that ends up hurting other people. And the second reason is that actually, when I stop being emotional and I look back, I don't actually agree with what I argued. So I can't trust myself to argue for the right things when I'm emotional.
All right. And Thais, could you write it down by summarizing your answer, please?
So write it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Christina, what do you think about this answer?
He reveals a lot.
Okay, tell me
And
what. Tell me what.
one, that he's very aware. He's very aware of himself, of his emotional state, and also he's able to analyze his and connect his emotional state and his actions. So is somebody who's very reflexive and thinking a lot about his actions and consequences, if you want.
Okay, yes, I think it makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah. Another thing is that
Wait, one
yeah.
sec, one sec. You're very fast, Christina. You notice that?
I am constantly accused that I am fast in this course. For me, it's very slow, the piece. So yes, I am a little bit faster. What
I
should
feel
I
I
do?
feel slow when I speak with you because I cannot. I mean, I cannot pay attention to all the things you say. You're too
They
fast.
think that I speak in English, not in Italian. If I were in Italian, it will be twice faster.
Oh, but are you Italian, Christina?
No, I am Moldovan, but I speak also Italian. So I'm used to fast speaking
So you
piece.
speak faster in Italian than in English.
I think so, yeah, because of cultural also
Okay.
difference, correct?
So thanks God that we are speaking in English now.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, but anyway, you are fast. You are fast anyway. Trust me. And so, just because I'm too slow, probably, yeah. But I think you are too fast. So now, I think you made a nice comment, yeah. Okay, I wanted to reflect with you about what you said and what are the implications what you said. So basically, your idea is that Thais is very aware about his own dynamic. Yeah. Okay, good. So now, do you see that this awareness he has makes the problem it presented in the question even bigger than we thought? Or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you say why?
Uh, why? Because being aware of it means that it really preoccupies him much more on how to, because he's also in a way and wants to change it. It's true. I don't know how to formulate it exactly, but yeah, I understand that it's.
I didn't understand, Christina. Can you say it in a simpler way? Because I didn't get it.
His own dynamics, being aware of his own dynamics can make him even more argumentative or not needed from being so aware of it.
And why you think that being more aware is going to be even more argumentative?
Because more you try to control it, more you can overdo it.
More, try to, you cannot, more, repeat it again?
More he tries to control himself and not allow himself to be himself, more he can lose control over himself.
Okay, what you said makes sense in general, but I don't see the connection what the about with the awareness.
Then I don't know how to explain it well. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean now I don't understand. So maybe it's a bit it's an intuition you have, but it's not constructed in an ordered way yet. Yeah. Okay, so let me propose to you that usually if a person is aware of his dynamic, is more able to control them. Yeah? Do you accept this idea or no?
No,
No, because you are just like Thais.
you can be very aware but not be able to control. That's where impotence comes.
Okay.
When you want it a lot, but you cannot.
Okay, but you see why I think that the problem is even bigger than we thought, since he's so aware about his dynamics, or no?
Yes, no, I acknowledge that being aware of it, and yeah.
Okay, so it means that he has a big problem of control himself. Why are you smiling?
So far, I have not seen Taj not having control of himself. So it makes me really laugh.
Okay,
Speaking
but
of
you know
he's looking,
the appearance sometimes doesn't reveal everything. You know?
agree, but still, it makes me really laugh when
And by the
speaking.
way, so, yeah,
Yeah,
go on. Sorry, go on.
I'm laughing when we speak in these terms referring to him because he doesn't appear as somebody who easily loses control over himself.
Okay, oh no, but the practice is exactly by analyzing the thinking to reveal the essence of the person. Like Socrates thought that the mind, the soul, let's say, the psyche called in Greek, the psyche is the essence of the person. So in a way, now we are trying to get his psyche, yeah, his soul, his thinking, yeah, and of course. All of us have a mask. Often we hide ourselves, like you were trying to do before with me by not answering in a way. But that's the power of the practice, and that it can be in a way liberating, but it can be also a bit painful. Yeah.
Or could be also that Taj actually has much more control and mastery of control over himself than what he
Okay.
thinks. That also could be. He could misinterpret it
Okay. I
and
agree. I agree with
think
you.
that he does not have emotional control or control over himself, while he does have. And maybe he's argumentative on emotional, but this is a normal state of mind and it's appropriate in certain circumstances. And he overdoes it, maybe, of
Okay.
thinking.
Okay, I think it's a possibility, but this possibility go against what you observed before, that he's quite aware about himself. Do you agree?
Yes, he's aware, and also he has control over himself.
Okay, but so he's not aware if he thinks he has a problem that is not a problem.
I think he thinks that it's a problem with the first part, but no, he might overdo it when he thinks about the second part.
Okay, now I'm losing you a bit. I know. Anyway, okay, let me propose. Okay.
So he's aware that he's argumentative, but I think he might overdo it, but he thinks that the dynamics are so bad on his emotional. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so you are proposing the idea that you think the problem is not that big. Yeah.
Could be, I don't know. Could
Okay.
be.
It could be anything, Christina, but so far from what we saw in the dialogue with him, even if he asked just a question and he gave to you just an answer, do you think, from what you noticed so far, that there is a problem of control or there is not?
To me, he's very self-controlled.
Yeah, but now you are using other information from what you know about him because maybe you met him a few times in the Zoom before. But from
Yes.
the discussion,
But from the discussion, yes, he's preoccupied about it. Okay. So when it's a problem for him, that maybe generally it's not a problem, but it's a problem for him and how it's defined.
And by
Okay.
the way, let me propose to you, Christina, that there are people that have a problem with control, yeah, that in a way, and they have problem with controlling emotions, yeah, and one self mechanism, defensive mechanism that they use is to repress emotions.
Mhm.
So maybe you are confusing the repression with the control.
You're right. Yeah,
Okay, now I
that's
mean,
very good.
it's just an hypothesis I'm making. We don't know yet, but I think there is a chance. Yeah, there is a chance. So I suggest that we ask him a last question, and then we open the discussion with the group. So, what question would you ask him now?
How does he hurt others?
Okay, so he's connected to the first part of the answer, right?
Yeah.
And why you want to know him?
Or we could also paraphrase it, or why does he have the fear of hurting others?
Okay, wait. You didn't answer my question.
Yes.
I know that you prefer to think by yourself, but in a dialogue, the aim is to think together. Yeah. So can you tell me, why do you want to know how he hurts others?
I want to understand to what extent what he perceives as hurting others is correct or not.
Okay, so you want to get more information about this tendency he thinks to have of hurting others.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, let me tell you, it's not you can ask that question, okay?
It's
But
not the best one, I agree.
no, let me you see now, you want to control, you you want to tell, I mean, tell to yourself what I'm telling you. So, but you prefer to tell with your words. Okay, I get, I guess. But let me propose to you that it's not you can ask that question, but the risk is that you go more in a kind of psychological dialogue where you get information, you ask him the story of his life, yeah, blah blah blah. But the difference in the philosophical discussion is, in a way, we want to get the way of thinking of the other. And in order to get it, we don't need many information. We need to focus more on the structure, on the form of the thinking. Yeah. So it's not. You are allowed to ask for more, let's say, information, more notions about the person, but don't forget that your aim is to make him think and to help him to know himself better. And the structure of his thinking reveals more than all the information you can get. Yeah, that's what is just a general advice. But if you think that here can be useful, you can ask that question. So it's up to you again. If you want, you can write it down, the
You
question.
convince me that it's not worth it. You're right, but
Okay.
it's too
You
many
prefer
details and it's not worth it. I
you
think it's
prefer
better to find
to switch. Okay.
something, yeah, to switch off to something where it's more revealing how he thinks. I agree with
Okay.
that.
Good. So you have another one now, Christina.
I don't have it, but I find generally very hard to formulate questions that
Yeah.
make one reveal their way of thinking. That's what I find that these questions for me are very hard to come up with. I
Okay.
like them when others do it, but I find that it's hard for me to come up with them.
Okay, that's why we are here to train, you know. You are in the right place, Christine. But you know why you have hard time to ask a question in order to get the structure of the other person thinking, or no?
I often get back, I think, into details and into
Okay, that
and
was my
sidetracked.
suspicion before. I have this
Yeah,
yeah.
I easily get distracted which is
Okay.
not good. And it's easy even for me in writing, I can always see it when I get distracted.
Okay, so you tend to lose yourself in small things, in details, instead of focusing on in the essential core of the problem.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, that's very important that you are aware that you have this tendency. Yeah. Now I mean, we could let's say think why, but I will leave it for another time this discussion. And so you don't have any question at all? So basically, you ask the reason why he tend to be argumentative. Um, why, sorry, he want to stop. And he provide you two reasons. So what can you do? You know a bit more, no, about him. So now.
Yeah. It's clear that it's clear why he wants to stop it, because he doesn't want to hurt others, and also because he argues for the wrong things. It's both, I think. Then.
So basically, yeah, he said that we got that he doesn't like to hurt people. So
yes,
not
and also he doesn't want to argue for the wrong things. Both are valid things, correct? So we already have lots of information.
okay.
Then
So
the question will be more of then why does he continue to argue on his in this state of mind? Why doesn't he just stop it and
yeah,
take
but
a walk?
you know, okay, but the problem is just that one because he cannot stop it. Yeah, because if he knew how to stop it, he would have stopped it, but he cannot stop it. Yeah. So basically, he doesn't like to becoming argumentative because he tend to hurt others when he speaks and he's emotional. Yeah. Plus, he disagree. I mean, he's not rational. Yeah. He says something. I mean, he provide argument, but this argument are not based on reason. Is more based are more based in emotions. Yeah.
It's emotional reactions. I understand that,
Yeah.
but that's exactly why he asks, how can I stop it? Maybe he does not have enough techniques. So maybe what he needs is to think of different techniques than the situation in which he gets. And the way to formulate is kind of to ask him maybe what he has tried to do in those moments. Because if he really wants a practical solution, then maybe we should make him think about different practical solutions, what he already does and what he could do differently.
Okay, it's possible. I mean, I want to remember you that we are not supposed to solve the problems. We are supposed to deal with the problem, to use the problem that the client has in order to make him think and to, let's say, enlarge his horizons. Yes,
but that's precisely what we're trying to do. Correct?
Okay,
So it's not just to help him, but also that he thinks he by himself are there something else that he didn't think of yet. Correct?
Okay. So
that's why it will be nice to know what is he doing in the situation to try to stop himself, and how these dynamics work, and have he thought about changing those techniques into something different.
So go on with the question then. You have a short, clear question to make him?
What do you do when you feel emotional? What do you do to try to stop yourself becoming argumentative?
Okay, you want to check if we tried somehow to stop it?
Yes.
Okay, okay, write it down. Okay, let me propose to you two different strange questions, which are we call these questions paradigm shift questions. Do you know what is a paradigm shift question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. So since he want to avoid to hurt others, it means that he thinks that hurting others is bad. You agree?
Yeah.
So probably is in a moral paradigm. Yeah. So I know it can sound strange, but in order to push him a bit, even for a few seconds out from this moral paradigm, I would ask him, what is good in hurting others? I don't know if you like this question, but what do you think?
Once more, sorry, was the question? How you
Uh,
formulated it?
the question is, what is good in hurting others?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah.
Why you think is good? You prefer to be by yourself than with me, Christine.
No, I'm not. I'm just thinking also a little bit. I can be very fast and very slow at the same time. If it
Ah, I
looks in,
forgot you were a woman. Sorry. Yes, I cannot do it.
I can be both extremes in the same time. At
Okay.
different moments, one or another works, correct?
And let me
So,
propose you a last one, and then you pick what you want.
okay, yeah.
What is good in being wrong?
What is good in being wrong?
Yeah, from your reformulation, that doesn't sound very appealing. You don't like it, right?
Not as much because I think it's not so clear. It's a little bit too vague, and it's not addressing something more. I understand that you want a paradigm shift and you want to go into moral, non-moral, but still,
Oh, wait.
I,
Here is not about moral. It's about to be in a kind of contradiction with yourself, because he said that when he is emotional, he start to say something, and when he stop to be emotional, he thinks that he disagree with himself with what he said before. Yeah. So there is a this kind of if he thinks to be wrong when he is emotional and he speaks, and I wanted to explore why he has a problem in being wrong, for example.
okay, then I buy it, but yeah.
Okay, you're not very okay enthusiastic. Okay, let's keep the two we had already, and you pick which one you prefer.
But still go with mine. What do you do when you become argumentative and emotional at the same time?
Okay, very good. So I suggest you ask him. We hear the answer, and then we stop.
Okay. So Tish, what do you do when you become argumentative and emotional in the same time?
Well, I think for a long time I tried to tell myself, don't talk. Don't don't start arguing. You're emotional right now. This is not important. But the problem is, I think it kind of connects to what I said earlier, that I have a hard time seeing the truth in a way in a moment like that. So very often at some point I'll tell myself, yeah, but this time I really need to be argumentative because this time it's really important. And then I start arguing anyway. And then later on, I realized it wasn't very important and I really shouldn't have been argumentative. So that,
Okay, Thais, I ask you like before if you can summarize and write it down your answer.
yes. Let's see. Um, Wait, where is the question? Oh yeah, here it is. I'll write it under the question, yeah?
All right, yeah. Okay, okay, thank you. Just a little comment, Christina. So basically, what do you think about his answer?
It's a revealing one again
About what?
about the way how he copes with it.
Okay, but you agree that basically he said that he tried, but he didn't succeed. So basically, he
Yes, yeah,
does
but
it
yeah,
anyway. Yeah. So it's a big problem. Yeah, even because he tried, but he cannot do it, cannot
yeah,
stop.
agree.
Okay, okay. So now, Christina, how did you feel during? Did you like this exercise or was difficult? Tell me what do you think?
I really loved it today. It seemed much easier going than other consultations for me, at least. Because I liked and the topic was not as emotional somehow and was very easy and everyone stayed calm. I really loved it.
Wait,
And I, yeah.
you said that you like because even because Taisi were not emotional during the discussion.
Not that he was not emotional, but was everything went very calmly and very nicely.
That's because Thaisa was not becoming argumentative because when it does it, it's not very calm. Like it was a joke, Italian irony. Don't worry. And so you like this
I
exercise,
liked it today. Yes, I liked it a lot because I think it's a lot to work with, and it's a good example on how to work on it, and
and
which
there is
type of
something.
questions you could put and all that. Yeah, so I
There
liked
is
it.
something that you think you learn, or something that you think was important that we did together, or what?
Oh yeah, I learned a lot. Yeah.
Tell me one thing.
One thing is still to keep it more on questioning, still thinking more if those questions all you receive already answers that you already will know to those questions, and will they be good enough, or rather put questions that will reveal more of the process of thinking of a person.
Okay, okay. Let me propose you an idea that what I noticed that uh, I think that I mean the main problem or the main difficulty I saw by observing you is that often you tend to be worried with yourself. You're well, more with yourself. Because maybe because you are thinking a lot. You are overthinking, and I suggest you to do like I told you before to do less, and if you do less you give also more space to the other. Yeah, otherwise you tend to close yourself in your mind and you think by yourself, but you disconnected a bit with the client, because I think
Agree,
wait,
agree. Yeah.
I just finish, and then you tell me what you think. Because I think when you are there and you don't think too much, you have good questions like you provide, you have good intuition, but you tend to overdo, and this overdoing is giving you pressure and is in a way not helping you to see the other in front of you. That's what I observe. But tell me if you agree, or if
Yeah,
you
absolutely. Agree.
Okay, okay. In a way, there is a nice sentence from the Taoism, which is wash yourself from yourself. So, in a way, that's what we are supposed to do as a philosopher. In a way, we need to know ourselves, but at the same time, we need to get rid of ourselves in order to give space to the other. Yeah, which is not easy. I understand. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you, Christina. And now Thais have the power to get revenge on us and to say whatever he wants.
I mean, I don't have much to add. I thought it was fun as well. I'm actually a little bit sad that that we can't continue for longer because I was curious to see where this conversation would have gone. So it was
Okay.
fun.
But did you recognize yourself in what we notice analyzing your question and your answer, or no?
I think so. I think so. I think there was only one thing where I was like, at some point you said Thijs is a practical person, and I was like, I wonder. I wonder if
Okay.
further down the road of this conversation you guys still think that. But yeah, in other respects.
Yeah, yeah. When you answered the question, the second question that or the first one when she asked you why, I had the same doubt you had. Like in a way, I was okay. I think now I think that is more intellectual than practical because you show that you are aware, and so it seems that you have been thinking a lot
Right.
about this. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So in a way, now I would say that your original question, since you are very intellectual, is more a question that ask for help in a practical because you are not that practical. Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's maybe a good way to look at it.
Okay, okay. In a way, I think it's important. You know what? It's important to analyze and to the presupposition, but during the dialogue, it's important to keep them in mind in order to check, yeah, if that presupposition it could be the case or not. Yeah. So I think this is yes, I agree with you. This is an example of it's not the wrong. I mean, I don't think it's okay to have presupposition, and but it's important to check during the dialogue and to be open. Yeah. So yes, yes. But what was the let's say more striking idea that it came up during the discussion with Christina about you that surprised to you the most? I mean, apart the practical one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. There were a couple of things. I mean, I think we stayed relatively on the surface still because we didn't get that far in. The moral paradigm thing made me think. That made me think like, is that well, that's something that I'll think about more. Why is that bad? Hurting
Uh,
others?
It was I mean, the idea that you are moral is new for you, or
No, 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 not necessarily.
and why did make made you think?
Because I wondered if that's well, just because I'd never actually stopped to think about why I don't want to hurt others in situations like that. And I think it might also be partially selfish to not want to hurt others. So I thought, yeah, well, something to think about.
Oh, that's interesting. So you are saying that avoiding hurting other is selfish, right?
It could be, yeah.
What can be selfish in that avoiding?
Well, I mean, if you hurt people all the time, they'll run away, and that's not fun for yourself
Ah,
either.
okay, see, see. So you're afraid to lose the others by hurting the others.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Okay, so your fear, your actually problem is loneliness, is solitude. Yeah, it to remain by yourself.
I guess. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. But okay, so that could be a good reason to stop become argumentative when you get emotional. Okay, and that's what you get when you get emotional. You remain by yourself, right?
What, and how do you mean?
Because you said that you argue in like say there is a rage in the way you argue, right? So and you hurt others. So I guess that other leave you alone. You tend to leave you alone when you argue. Yeah.
I guess so. Yes.
And
Yeah.
you don't like it, right?
No.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Uh, okay, makes sense. Yes. Okay, interesting. Okay, thank you. You want to add something, Thais?
Let me think. No, not really. I think it's funny when you guys were talking, that also gave me time to think more about my own stuff. So
Yeah.
that was also fun.
Yeah, and by the way, let me propose that the exercise you have just you have been doing so far, I think is a good training for your problem. Since when you get emotional, you tend to speak a lot. Yeah, in a way, here probably sometimes you got a bit emotional, but you had to not to speak. Yeah, so I think it could be a nice training for you and for your problem. Let me know in the future if something changed. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now it's time to give the mic to Gabriella and Felix. So let's hear what they observe so far.
So I'm very curious in what Christina, in the last question, no, not the last question, when Thais gave the two reasons, like to not hurt other people and to not be wrong.
Mhm.
I would have asked what's more important, because for me it's a person that doesn't want to hurt one is very different than a person that doesn't want to be wrong. And I think that will tell a lot about the structure of Thais thinking.
Yes, I think is a really nice remark, and since I think is a good observation, I would like to give you the chance to ask this question to Thais.
Okay. Thais, if you can tell me just one reason, what's the most important reason for you?
I need to think about that. Um,
So it means
but let
that
me,
it's a good question because you are thinking.
exactly, yeah. Um, Let me think. Well, I I think it's the hurting people, but I also think that the two are connected because I think part of the hurting is due to me pushing people into a place that's wrong, right? I mean, if I was arguing for the right things, then maybe it would be a fairer discussion and people wouldn't get hurt. But it's partially the problem that I'm arguing for the wrong thing, and I'm really good at that. So I push people into a corner, and then they're like, "But I shouldn't be here."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabriella, did you notice something interesting about his answer or no?
Yes, he's avoiding the question basically.
Exactly. So in a way, you invited him to separate these two
Yes.
stuff, and he keeps try to keep them together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's I usually something that explain why people have hard time to choose because they don't want to get rid of something. Yeah. So we can also conclude that probably he has a problem with choosing. Yeah.
Yes,
So yeah.
I also have an observation. I think Thais has is compulsively using the phrase "I think." It's very much in his head. Like
Mhm.
you said it 7 times at least, right? Like in the past half an
And
hour.
yes, yes, you're right. I agree. And what do you think it means? I think.
Well, for me, that tells me that
For me,
my
it means I
intuition.
think, For me, it's the
Yeah.
same.
Yes, the same for me. I have my own verbal tics. Yes, I'm
It's
aware.
the same
Um,
disease of this. Okay.
yes, yes.
So what it means, I think,
Um,
or what is the function?
mm, I don't know.
Okay.
Not sure.
If you don't know, we can think. Uh,
Yes, I
I-
have
you have an hypothesis?
yes.
Okay.
What I was trying to point by pointing this out that he used a lot, I think. My intuition told me that the first reason was actually the important one, the not being wrong. I feel his,
That was the second one, I guess.
Yeah, the second one, not the one not hurting people. I think the problem is in the maybe not being wrong part. Maybe that's the actual.
Okay, is a way to defend himself or in a way to protect his idea. I think it means it's my opinion. I don't want to impose my opinion to others. I don't want to hurt others. So please don't leave me alone. I have this idea. It can be wrong, but that's my idea. I don't want to hurt anybody.
I'm not convinced that the problem is hurting other people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So the problem is not to be wrong.
Yes, that's how I feel by what he.
Yeah, but why is a problem to be wrong, you think?
Um, hmm. Well, I would ask him. I don't have like an hypothesis that far away.
Okay, so let me ask Thais this question that Christina didn't like. Why is a problem for you to be wrong, Thais?
I don't know.
Okay, think about it. Yes. Well, let me ask you, what the worst consequence when you are wrong that can happen
In a particular situation or in general?
in general?
I mean, if you are wrong, you can take actions that don't match with what you want.
Okay, making mistakes, yeah,
Yeah.
in a practical way. And can you say the worst mistake you could think of, you could do?
Hurting someone I love.
Okay, I was I had the suspicion he was about to go there. Yeah, that it could mean that what is feared the most is to be abandoned from other, to be by himself, to be alone. Yeah, so in a way, the is not hurting other for itself, is the consequence of hurting others. Does it make sense, Thais, this idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now you remind me. Do you know Blaise Pascal? Is a French philosopher.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if you read something about him. He wrote these different thoughts, different ideas. It's called Les Pensées in French. Yeah, and there is one idea which I think is really interesting for you. He says that most of the problems of humans are connected with the incapacity to be by themselves many hours in the same room with no other people around. So it seems that he's speaking a bit also about you.
I mean that's funny though because I don't have a problem with being alone. Like I can easily spend a day by myself.
Okay,
So
so
that's not a big
why
deal.
do you fear so much about hurting others then?
I think I don't know. I think maybe it's rather not having. Well, yes, I guess abandonment is a thing there, but that that I can't be alone. It's more that I don't. If you're actually abandoned, there's also nobody you can go to if you do want to have somebody around.
I don't know if I understand. Tell me, is the that you are being refused? Is not being alone. Is the fear of being refused from others? Is that what you are trying to say, or I didn't understand?
No, not really, but it's more like, I mean, being alone, I can spend a day or a week by
Okay.
myself. That's good. But at some point, you want to see someone, and then it's nice if there is somebody you can see.
Ah, okay. So it's not a problem to be usually to be by yourself, but when you need someone, you want that someone to be ready to spend some time with you. Ah, okay. So now I understand
Yes.
why you said that there is some selfish behind this fear. So it's not a moral, but it's more, yes, something that is for you. Yeah, it's not for others. Yeah. Is that
Yes.
the idea? Yeah, yeah. I mean, do you recognize yourself in this scheme?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think there is also a moral component, but yes.
Okay, okay. So you don't want to hurt others because they need to be available when you need them. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, okay, but it's not. I mean, maybe it's normal for you, but it cannot be. It can be strange for other people, you know. So, but that it seems that's the thing for you. Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So you see other as instruments. Yeah.
I don't know. No, not necessarily. I mean, I guess so, if you say so.
No, no. I mean, if that's. I mean, you could be more worried about other people's health in not hurting others, but your biggest worry is that you're afraid that when you need them, you are not there. They are not there. So it means that you have more an instrument conception of other people. Of course, I'm not saying that you don't care at all about others, but if I should bet, I would bet more in your we view as a instrument, people as instruments for you. Does it speak to you or no? Does it?
Yes, I need to think about that.
Okay, okay, okay. It means I don't like that idea, but I will think about it. Okay,
Yes.
nice. So, Gabriella, you want to add something? You get your information, by the way, after the discussion with Thais we just had. You think is more worried about to be wrong or to hurt others?
Yes, I have more information now. More information now. Uh, it's not my place to decide for him. Um, well, I'm not convinced. Basically, I think this is the first layer of not hurting people. Is the first layer of the actual problem, and yeah, now we discussed that maybe it's somehow he positioned himself with other people, like yeah.
Okay, you're saying that this is at the surface, yeah?
That yes, it's a feeling. It's a feeling,
And
yeah.
since it's a feeling, I think it seems that you are having an intuition here, yeah?
Yes.
Can you tell us which is your intuition? What do you think from your intuition, which is the main problem uh, that Thais has?
Um, the over intellectualization, maybe.
Okay, he thinks too much, overthinking.
Yes.
Okay, is that true? Do you tend to overthink, Thais? Are you overthinking right now?
That's why I think emotion are a big problem for him because of the everything is up here, like
Okay.
in the mind.
So in a way, his overthinking could be interpreted as a running away from emotions.
Yes, or emotions are something that is very strange to him. He doesn't know how to deal with them, how he deals with his mind. That's where he finds control, and that's why he's where it's comfortable to work with his mind. So that's where I feel that the problem lies.
Okay, okay, interesting. I don't know if you agree or not, Thais. You are free to say no if you don't.
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess, yeah, I think that could be right.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
So let me propose to you that overthinking is not actually thinking, but overthinking is more worrying. When you're overthinking, you are worrying, you are not thinking. So in a way, I know it's a paradox, but let me suggest you that in order to start thinking, you should stop overthinking. So in a way, you
How do
should.
you do that?
Okay, that's another starting question for a long consultation. In a way, if you want an easy, a cheap answer, I would suggest you to start to fear less, because worry is a type of fear. Yeah, when you want to control too much, when you want, when yeah, it's because you fear too much. Yeah, and when you fear too much, you see dangers, too many dangers. Yeah, and the fear at one point becomes paranoia. And the difference between fear and paranoia is that the fear is connected to something which is real, but paranoia is a fear that is disconnected from reality. Yeah, so when you have paranoia, you see dangers everywhere and you overthink, you overthink, you overthink. Yeah. So that's why my cheap answer is train yourself to fear less. Because once you are able to fear less, you will have also less need to overthinking. I don't know if it makes sense to you, this answer. Yeah?
Yeah, I can see some.
Okay. Okay. Next time we meet, let me know if it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Okay, so now I suggest we hear Felix, and since I mean we went let's say long with this exercise, we will not have the time to do another one, but we can use the time we have left to hear Felix, and then if you want to, you could ask me some question about the practice, or if you have some curiosity. I'm available to answer to you. But first, let's give the Felix the chance to speak.
Um, so this is really interesting because I, of course, also know Thijs personally. So it's also really interesting to see these discussions from, well, an outside perspective, let's say. Um, but I also, so my observations were also largely on the how we actually did the consultation. So also the kind of advice you gave, Andrea. So, on not being too good of a student, don't stick too close to the rules, but kind of also go with the flow of the consultation and see how you can make it your own.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But let me comment this because I think it's important. In a way, it goes together with the concept of improvising. Yeah. I don't know if some of you play some instruments, some I don't know, guitar and stuff, but maybe you know that to improvise is not to play as you want, like making some chaos, some sounds. Improvising is something is difficult in a way, but you improvise when you, in a way, you have a different relation with rules, when you are not more too rigid to the rules. Yeah, but at the same time, it's very difficult because you need to practice a lot in order to improvise. So in a way, there is this paradox. In order to get rid of the rules, first you need to follow the rules a lot and repeating them, and then you can improvise. So I think it's a nice concept. Yes, I agree. Yes.
Yeah. And then the main thing that I also noticed was also when, after Christina's question of why do you want to stop yourself being argumentative, and then Thijs gave very clearly two reasons, which would indicate that he is quite a structured person, or at least very structured in the way he thinks about this. And I also saw then what Gabriela said, that he's probably been thinking a lot, or maybe you said that, yeah, that he's probably been thinking about this a lot and has been very much preoccupied with this for a while.
It's being overthinking.
And while he's able to be very structured in his thoughts now, it seems that when he does find himself in an emotional state, that structure kind of disappears.
Okay, okay. But since you know him, you friends, I guess, right? No, yeah. Did you identify him from what the description it came up from the discussion? Or no?
Um, the control over himself, that one was new to me. But the frustration, the disappointment, the repression of the emotions, that I could see.
Ah, okay, okay. So it was new, the controlling part.
Yeah, I have never thought about it that way.
And you think it can work, even if you didn't think before, or do you think it's a bit strange on him?
I think that could work.
Okay, can you explain how it can work?
I think um, I think there's certain areas also, well, particularly this, where he tries to be able to do, or hold on, can I actually explain this? I think it fits in this scenario, but it is also a bit of a paradox because in other areas he does have very good control over himself.
Okay, okay. I think it's interesting this paradox you're raising because I don't know if you notice that there are people that since they control themselves too much, they when they lose control, they lose control. They, in a way, they need to lose control, and in a way, the reason why they lose control is because they usually tend to control too much themselves. So I don't know if is this the case of him, but it's an interesting paradox anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Now uh, you can look at him from different with different eyes. Yes. I hope not to having ruined your friendship. Yes. Okay. You want to add something, Felix?
I think those were the main points I had.
Okay, good. So now we have a few minutes. I think we can spend. If you have general questions about the practice, since you are a bit new about the practice, if you have any curiosity, I'm happy to try to answer your questions, even if you have any doubts or some problems. Yes, Gabriela.
I'm curious to learn more about this philosophical dying because you said it's an important part of practicing.
Yeah.
And I want to know some tricks. I'm happy to with some cheap answers here because
Yeah.
I'm aware that we don't have much time left. So yeah, I would like to hear more about this. Like how can you
Die.
yes.
Okay, you can jump from the window, or if the window is really high. Um, okay, you want to know how to die. It's not okay. Let's think about it. Um, okay, let me propose you this that there is this strange concept in the practice that in order to question another person, you need to give up with yourself. You need to give up your normal, let's say, worldview. You need to become a non-subject. We all are subjects, yeah. So we have desires, we have fears, we have ideas, yeah. We have a certain worldview about life, but in order to question the other, to enter in another person's worldview, we need to be able to suspend our view. Yeah. Otherwise, we could project our ideas on others. We can project, and we have a more hard time to see the other. So in a way, is I don't know, is the capacity to give up with yourself and to focus more on the other. But of course, in order to know better, to give up with yourself, it's necessary to know more yourself. So I know it's a paradoxical, but for example, as I said before to Christina, if you are aware that you have this tendency, it's important because when you interpret that idea, that word that the other client says in a certain way, you know that maybe you are overinterpreting, so you are projecting something there. So in a way, by knowing yourself better, you can get rid better yourself during the dialogue, yeah, by leaving more space on the other person, by focusing more on the other person. So I don't know. I think it's more it's more something that you can practice than something theoretical, let's say. And but when it happens, it's really relieving in a way. Yeah, you feel more free from yourself. Yeah. So there is this nice concept by Chuanzi, which is from Taoism, yeah, that says that it speaks about illumination of obvious, yeah, which is something that it was always there in front of you, but because you were too preoccupied with yourself, you couldn't see before. But it was obvious, obvious was there, yeah. So in a way, there is also in the Bible. I don't know if you know that part of that story when Jesus says, instead of worried about the small things in the other people's eyes, try to focus more in the big things you have in your eyes. Yeah. So in a way, is that the idea? Yeah. So if you know better yourself, then you have the chance to see better outside and better the other person. I don't know if this help you with this concept of dying as in order to philosophizing, and but that's my cheap answer. I don't know if satisfying for you, Gabriella.
Yes, thank you. So what I understand, if I want to see if I understood correctly, it's
Okay.
that you have to know yourself better to know how to kill yourself. And so you have to know yourself better to know um, when you end and where the other person begin, like to see him,
Yeah.
to know yourself so much that you can separate your projections from your client's worldview.
Yes. You
Yeah,
know that
I need to know myself.
what?
Basically, that's the trick, to learn more about myself so I can deal with what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
that's the idea of Socrates. If you know better yourself, you know better others, and you know better the world. Yeah, because I think yeah, I think you understood correctly. In a way, when we live, we tend to deform reality. Yeah, and if you know the way you deform reality because you know better yourself, then you can know better reality. And let me propose you another idea. Is from another philosopher. I think is a really nice idea. I don't know if you know Spinoza a little bit. In the Ethics, he wrote different works, but the more famous one is Ethics. Yeah, and which is really crazy book. He starts speaking about God, and then he speaks about characteristics, and then he speaks about emotion at one point. Yeah, and from his point of view, emotions are confused ideas. So when you, and that's relevant, by the way, with the topic that raised Thais, because by Spinoza, when you do something and you are driven from your emotion, it means that it's like to act and you don't know very well what you are doing because you have confused ideas that are driving you in acting. Yeah. So basically, rationalizing is the mechanism in order to transform confused ideas in clear ideas. And of course, when you have more clear ideas, you can act properly, you can act better, you're more efficient. Yeah. So maybe that's a bit the problem, I think, connected to the Thais question. So if you don't rationalize, you are not acting, says Spinoza, but you are reacting. Yeah. So you are less free. So in a way, the freedom is in the thinking, because thinking let you act instead of react. Yeah. So in a way, that means knowing better yourself is to think about why you feel that emotions. And when you understand, you are more free than before and you know better yourself. I don't know if it's clear.
Thank you. That was very helpful, actually. It was something that preoccupied me a lot, and I never heard this idea that emotions are confused thoughts. Yeah, it helps a lot. Thank you.
Okay. So that's why you are here. You are here to transform your confused ideas in more clear ideas. Yeah. That's what maybe you called before structure your thinking also. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Gabriela. We have space, I think, for 1, 2 questions more, and then we end. If you have, otherwise we can stop. Okay, Christina.
What's your take? Because in the course we often speak about attitudes and our own attitudes. Even if you recognize certain attitudes, how do you work on them? Because that's never clear to me. I understand what it's meant by attitudes, but what I do not understand is how one gets rid of it or how does one cope with it, because very often we are so ingrained in a person, and I see it repetitively in others when it comes out, but also in myself and everyone. How do you
Okay.
work with that?
It's very easy by asking questions about it. So if you see the client smiling, for example, you can ask, why are you smiling? Or did you notice you're smiling? Or did you notice that, like I did at the beginning of the session with Gabriela, yeah, that he expressed a bit of, I prefer no, but I could see that was something more than just no, yeah, was some feeling behind. So in a way, by focusing on what that sign of attitude, you ask the person to be aware and then to provide an argument to explain why he had that emotional reaction. So it's very easy. Before you try to identify the phenomenon, smiling or be aggressive or making funny faces and so on, and then you ask a question about it. That's the main way to deal with attitude.
But also, it's not that attitudes are wrong per se, it's just a question of understanding them. Do I correctly understand now? Because I thought that whenever even Oscar in the first session was saying about attitudes that a person had, I thought that it's something then considered extremely bad to have, or it's not something so bad to have. That's what I do not understand.
I didn't understand why it's so bad to have attitude.
What I do not understand is it generally considered very bad to have an attitude, or it's okay to have or appropriate to have it in different circumstances? Because somehow I think I associated whenever somebody in the course speaks about another one having an attitude as something extremely negative. Well, when you now describe it, it's not as negative, it's more about making the person just being aware of it. And I do not understand.
No, I would say it's not negative to, I mean, I think it's not possible not to having an attitude. We all have an attitude, yeah? And the attitude help you to understand better the person in front of you. For example, if you see a person that saying yes, but with the head they is saying no, there is a funny contradiction, is a performative contradiction. So the attitude help you to reveal what there is behind that yes. Okay. So I don't think it's wrong to have an attitude. It's normal. It's natural to have an attitude, but it's important to be aware of the attitude that the person has and to help the person to be more aware about his attitude. Because we don't speak just with the word. We mainly speak with the attitude, by the way. And the attitude, you know what is bad is good, or the attitude that with the word, we have more control in the word we use, but we have less control in the attitude we have. Yeah. So in a way, the attitude reveals more on the to the person of the person that his words. We lie easier with the words than with the attitude. So in a way, the attitude is a way to check if what he's saying is true or no. Yeah.
Got you. No, thanks a lot for clarifying, because I think I associated attitudes always with something very negative. And
No,
then
no.
I
It's not.
always saw even Oscar having attitudes, and then I was very confused. I got you.
I
Yeah.
mean, of
That's
course,
good.
you can have a negative attitude when you are, for example, you are, I don't know, you feel rage against the other person, yeah. But it's not an absolute negative to have an attitude.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I somehow I took it as something only the negative side, but not the positive side of it. Okay. No, thanks a lot for clarifying. Now it's clear to me, because I was really confused about it. Yeah.
By the way you interpret attitude, it reveals that you tend to be absolute. You tend to have
Yeah,
absolute.
absolutely. Yeah, no, I am absolutist in certain respects and very relativistic
You are
in other ones.
absolutely absolutist. Yes.
I am. I can be very absolutist, yes, and
Yes,
also
yes.
very relativist. As soon as somebody is very absolutist, I'm very relativist. So yeah.
Yeah. But here in the practice, we are trying to train ourselves to be more perspectivist, which is not neither relativistic, neither absolutistic. Yeah. So yes, okay. Thank you, Christina. I don't know if there is no other question. I will leave you alone with yourself and with you.
Now we're
Okay.
gonna probably Blaise Pascal, correct?
Okay, it's been funny for me. I hope it's been funny and useful for you as well. And I guess we could. I don't know. I don't know the program now. Maybe there is the chance we see again in the future. I don't know exactly when. And okay, so that's it. Thank you, and have a nice day. And see you next time.
Thank you very
Grazie
much. Have a good
mille.
day.
Buona serata.
Yeah,
Ciao,
thank you
grazie.
very much.
Ciao.
Bye.